Hi guys, I wanted to go over a new lesson with you. Today we're going to be going over labeling a quadratic graph. So here's your quadratic graph. It's quadratic is always going to be a parabola. So it's always going to be this U shape. So if you want to, helpful to write these down in your notebook or on a sheet of paper, something to review back on, because hopefully we will be back to school. I'm planning on it, and we will go over all of these. All right, so the parabola is a U shape. First thing we want to go over is on the top left. There are 4 lines for a reason, and if you remember, if you see, it's pointing to these 2 points. So those 2 points, and if you remember back to I am 1, it's crossing the x-axis, so this could be called the x-intercepts. But in I am 2, we actually have quite a few other names we could call it. We could also call it roots, zeros, because the y's are 0 in these 2 points, or we can call them solutions. They all mean the exact same thing, just depending on how we use it. Now, the opposite of the x-intercept is going to be the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be over here. And lucky for us, they're only going to have one y-intercept, and it only has one name, thankfully. Now, we have 2 other things. One, you should remember from what you did last week. This point right here at the bottom would also be at the top of the graph. This is going to be called our vertex. And if you remember in absolute values, we also talked about vertex. It's that pointy part. But in quadratics, it's more of a U. We can also call it our maximum or our minimum, depending on if it's going to go up or if it's going down or if it's opening up. That's your max. Now, the last thing on this one is this dotted line that's going right through the middle of our graph. That is called our axis or line of symmetry. Depend on who's using it. I like line of symmetry, and there's the abbreviation for it, but you could also use axis of symmetry. Now think back to when you were in a kindergarten and you would fold your paper in half, then open it up and put paint on one side, fold it together and rub it, and the ink or the paint would go to the other side. That is what this is. So that folded part of on your paper is your line of symmetry. Very, very same thing. All right. Okay, let's go through some of the vocab now. So a parabola is that U shape. That's all it means. It's a U shape. Very easy. Nothing else is going to look like this. Zeros, and that's what they like to call it, is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Now, we could have many times, there's different ways it could cross tongue-tied today, could cross the x-axis. So there are actually 3 different ways. We could have it, trying to find all the fun colors. We could have it not cross the x-axis at all. So you would have 0 zeros or 0 solutions. We could have it come down, touch it once, and go back up. It could have 1 solution, roots, x-intercepts. Or we could have 2. And remember, these could also be going upside down too. And remember, zeros are also x-intercepts, roots, solutions. squeezing it in. Y-intercept, so where the graph crosses the y-axis. The nice thing is when we get to standard form, which will be the following week, it's actually the last number in the equation. So why? If I had this one, that is going to be my y-intercept. Okay, but if we're just talking about a graph, it's just where it crosses the y-axis. That's it. That's getting a little thick. Just a minute. There we go. Okay, so vertex, just like I said before, this is going to be the highest or the lowest point. It's where it starts to curve. So if we are opening down, this would be your max. Or if we were opening up, this would be your minimum. Okay. Hopefully I haven't lost you guys yet, but remember you can always review the video again. Okay, so domain is going to be your all of your x values. And because this one is going to keep going up, 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 or down, 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 it's never going to end. Hence, we have the arrows at the end of our graphs. We're always going to say this is all real numbers. Always. We're not going to do anything else. All right, so now when we do range, if domain is the x, range is going to be the y values. And how I remember it, x comes before y, just like domain D for domain goes before R. You guys know I have funny, weird ways of saying everything. Now with this one, we always, always, always use the y value of the vertex to find our range. So if I had a graph that's going up like this or a graph that's going down, I'm going to say the vertexes are the same. Oh, yeah, actually, you want me? Let me erase that. Let me do it a little bit better. Sorry. There we go. Or if I said it's going down, and that the vertexes were both 4, -3. Okay, so that's that vertex and that vertex. For the first one, because our values are going to go up, our y's are going to be greater than -3. And for this one, since our graph is going down, our y's, we're going to go to all the numbers that are less than -3. All right. Hopefully this helps you guys. And then once you review this video, go on to Khan Academy and work on those assignments. They also have some videos if you need to do those. Remember to email me if you have any questions. And I can't wait to hear from you guys.